So, today we are talking about a topic that is near and dear to both of our hearts, and we are talking about how live events change lives. And they really do.
They do, 100%. They've hands down changed our lives.
That's how we actually met.
It is. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And that was how many years? 2 years ago now?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Years ago.
You know
Yeah.
what's crazy is I used to think that live events were like a total waste of time.
Me too. Me
I was
too.
like, I'm not going to learn anything new. People just go and screw around and waste time
Drink,
at these
party. Yeah.
houses. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I actually thought that too, because when I was with, it just depended on the different brokerages I was with, but I just never felt like drawn to go there and wear like a stuffy suit and act like somebody I'm not. And like I think honestly too, I was scared, like nervous.
It's intimidating, all those.
So intimidating.
And
Yeah.
if you've ever been in a room full of real estate agents dressed to the T and they're all fancy and they all have their hair perfect and their teeth are so white
I
and
know, the whitest.
flawless and it's
I know, I know.
their
Right? It
special
actually warms my heart to know that you felt that way too. I think that must be like, so like you and I, we never really talked about that piece, right? Like we were just excited that we met. But honestly, like it is intimidating. And I wonder how many agents out there, like all across North America, are just not going to these things because they're like feeling shy or like nervous or just don't want to get out of their box or their comfort zone.
And if you think about it, like with us, there's
Yeah.
nobody in our local market that we could invite to go to an event with. So like
No.
we're gonna have a friend to be like, hey, come to this event with me. You're going all by yourself. Nope.
Which I'm going to challenge every single person to go alone. Because, like, I went alone, and I think if I would have been with somebody, I wouldn't have struck up those communication, like those relationships, or talked to people, or talked to you, or talked to Beth, or like, it's like traveling alone. It's so nerve-wracking and scary, but the people you meet, it's like, would potentially change your world.
Yeah, for sure. Because even like when we first met, we were sitting there and you ordered an Uber and you're like, hey, do you want to just jump in with me? But if you would have been with somebody else, like you
I wouldn't have
probably
invited you. I know.
I would have just had to get my own.
Right? Get your own Uber. No, I'm good. I got my buddy here.
What do you think about being in a right headspace to go to the events though? Because if you go to the event expecting to just, oh, they're just going to drink and party and it's going to be a waste of time, you're probably going to get nothing out of it because you're expecting to get nothing.
That's what I actually think you need to go and have some intentions. I'm going to talk to two different people. Just keep it small. You don't have to talk to every person. Just say, I'm going to get two contact cards. I'm going to bring up like five conversations and maybe I like to have a conversation starter that I've practiced, not just, oh, hey, what do you do? I sell real estate. Like,
What do you do?
yeah. Like maybe, hey, how are you crushing it in real estate right now? What are you doing new right now? Have you tried this? Have you tried out Chat GPT? Because I think there's lots of people that haven't, but then there's lots of people that have. And some people have some really cool like tools that they have used inside that. So it's just you gotta come prepared, like you
Yeah,
say.
I think so too. And one thing I like to do before I go to an event is I try to think about, okay, what's one thing I really want to get out of this? And so if it's the two contacts or if it's, I really want to figure out how to circle prospect better. Or
Yeah.
if you go with like a specific intention, then
Yeah.
I think everything you hear is going to be like, it's so weird. That was all exactly what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
But really, it's, what do they call it? Like the red bus thing where it's like, you never notice like a red bus until you buy a red bus and then all of a sudden everyone has a red bus.
Everyone's got it.
Never
Yeah,
done
yeah,
before.
exactly. Yeah, it's if you buy a new pair of sneaks, everybody's got a pair of sneaks on at the conference.
Yeah, we love sneaks. We're not
Yeah,
sponsored, but
yeah.
we wish we were.
Yeah, we would totally consider sponsoring sneaks, just or being a sponsored by sneaks. Yeah, like I felt like the one that because we didn't meet at the first event we were both at. So the reason I went to the original spring break was because I just wanted to figure out how to run a team. Like in my mind, I was so far gone. I was exhausted, just on total burnout mode. And I just thought like the only way I can continue to survive this business or keep working in this industry was to build a team and potentially get out of production, right? Because I had no idea. I had no idea. And so spring was advertising spring break as like a team centric event.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm gonna go. And I'm pretty sure I was the only Canadian there. Like I went down to San Diego and I'd actually blocked off two events. Like I went to Houston and I went to Macy and Katie's event.
Lefty.
Yes, yeah, I went to that. And then I just caught a plane because they were right close together. And I went over to San Diego. And it like off the top of my head, that sounds bougie. I was like just like city and going to events, but I was so scared and I just felt desperate. I was desperate. Like I had no connections. I'd really felt like I was lost because in my community, there is some people that are becoming more open to collaboration. Like I'm actually seeing that kind of open-hearted like real estate happening more, but I'm also like at the time, I felt really alone. I didn't know what I was doing. I just needed something to like fuel me. Like I needed to feed my soul, right? So then I went to the spring event and like I am everybody's dream client. I'm a self closer. Like I'm a self closer. Like I'll close myself. Like you should invite me to your Arbonne like parties because like I will buy all the Arbonne stuff. So anyway, she had a deal where it was like you can go to Mexico and join the inner circle. I was like, me, I'm gonna do that. Like I just,
Oh,
yeah,
sign
totally like
up.
yeah. And I remember actually going to Sarah and being like, you better make sure I get in there. Like I need to be.
Uh,
And then that was where at the Inner Circle in Cabo, which was in June, and that's where we met on that Uber, which was
yeah,
it was such a like tight little community of people. Like it wasn't, excuse me, it wasn't big, right? It was just like I don't know. And I was so nervous still. Like even going to like those other two bigger events. The one in Houston was quite big. There was like Tom Ferry came and there was a lot of speakers and stuff like that. And then Springs wasn't quite as large, but it was so it was more intimate. But then I felt like I was like right in there. That's where I met Mike. And I totally was like, Mike is gonna be in my life. And Sharon spoke and he was I like my mind was blown.
that was the first time I actually heard Sharon speak
Me
in real life.
too. Yeah,
And
me too.
we went up to like his hotel room and there, because he invited us all up at 5 a.m. for a mastermind.
Oh,
And so we went
yes.
there, met a couple people, and like just those 30 minutes with him upstairs is like, oh my gosh, this guy is fire. And then I
Yeah.
started following him more and like just the value. But I never would have even heard of him had I not gone to an event.
That's a miss. I was nervous. I was too scared to go up that morning.
Were you?
Didn't. Yeah. No, really started. I remember feeling that day like I was starting to close in. Like I wasn't feeling very open that day and I just was caving in on myself. And so I was really nervous, but I did go to the breath work and that
Uh-huh.
just changed. Like I just cried. Like I just cried in this like sea of all these people. I just blah, like just
So funny because I wonder where you were laying because I was in that same room.
yeah.
And Tyson had to force me to go because I was like, that sounds weird. And usually Tyson's not like hippy dippy. He's like, no, this is like science, like it works, it's good. Then we got in there and Louis started explaining how like you'll get tetany and your hands will freeze up and it's gonna hurt and all this stuff. And I was like, what the hell are we doing
Where am I?
here? But it was the first time like I went to spring break because my mental health was just shot. Like I could not even imagine doing it for one more year. I was like, I won't be here next year. Like, I cannot do this. And when
Yeah.
I went up to that breathwork session, that was the first time in my whole, since I could remember that I felt peace.
Yeah.
All
Isn't
my
that
anxiety
amazing?
left, and I was able just to be present. And I was like, oh my
Me
God.
too.
And I
Yeah.
never even would have heard of breathwork if I didn't go.
I
Yeah.
think that's the thing is, right? Like it's like both of us were at a breaking point, right? We'd both been like I'd been selling tons of real estate for a long time. You'd been just like overwhelmed because your systems had just blown up and taken off. And it's just like when you're in this industry, you're not the, I don't imagine many people are the type of people to just say, no, I can't take your listing. No, I can't do that. Because we're like, we're yes people, right? Like people who are in sales are yes people. And so I would suggest, though, that people need to shift their mindset, get out of that thought process, like that they're not going to learn anything, that there's no value there. They should start going right away. If you're new to real estate, take an events. You're in for a couple of years, like take an events. Like just start like going, getting that information. Like you're not even going to believe the stuff you take away. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it's just as simple as something you've been talking to somebody and they show you something on your phone.
Yes. Yeah. Someone showed me how to search my Google pictures, and I was like, what?
I know. Boom. Like I would pay $100 for that. Like it's just like you can take away so much. And the speakers generally are really diverse. Like they're going to hit on different things. So some may speak to you, but some may not. And that's okay. You don't have to go, and not every single thing is going to be something that you take away, and you're not going to want to you'll fill up your notebook, but you really need to take one or two things.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. It's like you can get all these ideas, and then if you're like me, you're like, oh, I'll implement them all, and then you
Yeah.
do it for a week, and then you're like, and then it falls off because you can't be consistent when you implement too many. So yeah, I'd say circle like your biggest one or two takeaways at the end, and then just focus on that.
Exactly. Yeah, because then you're going to see change, right? It's if you go to this event, you're going to take a couple of things away, but you're also going to network with people, right? You're going to meet people. And I know I said two, but you're going to meet way more people. Like you're going to have your table, you're really going to connect with people. And that's how you find a tribe of people that, start a group chat,
Yeah,
get a group chat going so you can ask questions and just connect with people because in your market, depending on the size of it, sometimes people just aren't really open. Maybe there's no other realtors in your market, but then also there's people aren't really as open to sharing and just like spitballing ideas. It's a little more closed off, right? It can be anyway.
yeah, it totally can. And I can't imagine my life without the connections I made. Like without the group text with like you and Beth, like I would be
I know, right? I
nice to
know.
have.
And it's like we're all across North America. Like Beth is
Mhm.
out in Buffalo, you're down in Idaho, I'm in Canada, but it's we all have really similar situations, but and we learn from each other. Hey, what would you do in this situation? What would you do in this situation?
Yeah,
Just I can't even explain it. I know it's so good. Like it's changed our lives. Live events change lives,
they
right?
really do. And I
Yeah,
used to think it was just a gimmick, but I've
I
experienced.
know. And like I would say from my experience, I like the big ones. Like they're fun, right? Like the big national, there's lots of fun things happening there, but I've actually been finding I've been to a few smaller events and you and I we're going to start doing that because we want to offer that value to our communities, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
But I find that it's so much more impactful because it's really intense. You're there for a day. There's speakers lined up like half an hour off of each other. So each one has a story, each one offers some insight, and then you can like just go. You're there to take away, have lunch, have a little network, and then you're done. And it's just like and then boom. And it's super like affordable, right?
Yeah.
I went to one in Winnipeg that Jesse Peters put on, and I like that's what inspired this, like that the Agents Without Borders concept, right? It was just because you go and you don't think like, why would I go to this small conference? It's just like it was so impactful. I met so many people, I made so many connections, and I had so many takeaways. Like it was just like blew my mind. So
And
exciting.
I love it because like when they're smaller, you do get to make those like you get to talk to pretty much everyone that's there, and then you get to find your people. Not everyone's going to be your cup of tea, but you
Yeah.
just pick the people that you're drawn to. And me and Liz like to say, add them to our collection.
Yeah, that's
Adopt them in
right.
our collection.
Come on in. Hey, what's your spirit animal? Like,
Yeah. And it's who doesn't have one day to go devote to learning. And
yeah,
I'm
you still have
excited.
your phone with you. Like, you can take a break, answer some questions. There's so much value in these things. I would highly recommend them. And like, even if it's one little thing, like one little nugget you take away, like, that's worth a day. That's worth $100. That's worth driving or getting on a plane. Because if you're open to it, who knows what'll happen.
And it's fun to get to go see different places. Like I'm so excited for the medicine hat one because it gives me like a great excuse to just jump on I'm gonna drive
Yeah.
on over.
Drive
And
on up, check out the sip and dip, and then hit Medicine Hat. So I know I'm
yeah,
so excited for ours. And basically, what we're doing is an annual. We're going to be annual. So we're going to do Canada and then the US. Desi's going to have hers in September, right?
yeah. And we're doing ours in Boise. I think
That's
we
going to
found
be
a deal.
amazing. Yeah.
So
It's a
it'll be
little
fun.
bit more like it's accessible and there's going to be hotels and things like that. That's going to be incredible because there's a direct flight to Boise from Calgary.
Ooh, perfect. I
Yeah,
love it.
so that's going to be amazing. But so mine's going to be the spring during the Hot Air Balloon Festival. So amazing.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's going to be
Yeah.
so cool. And then Desi's is going to be in September. But even if it's not our events, you should make sure to check out live events. There's masterminds too. Like it doesn't have to be live, but I just feel like the live ones are just so much more impactful. But you just, if you're constantly learning and taking away, it'll change your career, it'll change your life and trajectory. Who knows what's going to come of it? Like we started this podcast because we met. And
Yeah,
now we're able to offer like insight and community to people like all across North America, which is so exciting.
so amazing. And I think people should, if you guys don't know what event you want to go to, or if you're scared to go by yourself, message me and Liz because we're always going to events
Yeah.
and we'll just pick one and you can come with us.
Yeah, so many good things going on. And I think we were talking at the beginning that we wanted to wrap up this podcast with a challenge. And
Yeah.
we also would like to hear what events you go to, like anywhere. It can be like North America, international. We want to hear about the events you guys are hitting up so we can make a list so we can let people know about them and maybe think about going to them ourselves because I like travel. But two events, take up two live events this year. That's our challenge to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that you took some things away from this today. And if you have any questions, please reach out. We would love to help you.
Yes. Live events change lives. Let's go.
Woohoo!
Uh,